So today we're going to be looking at a bunch of new laptops courtesy of HP. They decided to sponsor a showcase of their latest ProBooks and EliteBooks. It's quite a variety, many options to choose from, and that's why today I've got a stack. It's a laptop stack. And there's 4 in here, 3 from the ProBook series and 1 from the EliteBook series. And what's special here is we have AMD processors inside of portable thin and light laptops. Believe it or not, I think this might be my first exposure to AMD laptops. Now, from a styling standpoint, you can see the consistency through the lineup with this kind of brushed aluminum. Now, they all do have slightly different feature sets, and they're targeted at different users who are looking for different things. This is the ProBook 635 Aero G7, under 1 kilogram, a day's worth of battery life. One thing I noticed straight away with this is how you can open it most of the way without actually using your second hand. So you can get it up to about there and then open it the remainder. As you can see on the inside, you have the black keyboard, chiclet style keyboard, some speakers facing upwards. This one is featuring AMD Ryzen Pro 7, a large trackpad below there. So let's go ahead and take a look around this device. Now, under 1 kilogram, obviously it's an ultra portable unit, but you've got an array of ports still available to you. Actually, over here on the side, 2 USB Type-A ports. There's a headphone jack. Over on the other side, you're gonna see a Type-C connector, which you can also use to power the unit, charge the battery. There's a full-size HDMI port, which is gonna be convenient for output to either a monitor or a TV. And then there's also a dedicated barrel-style connector for charging the device as well. So you have a couple different options there for your charge. There's a couple of little rubber feet on the bottom to keep it planted on the table. So even though it is thin and light, it does feel robust. Another interesting thing here, this all metal design has over 62% of the mechanical parts made from recycled materials. Here's another interesting feature that they outline. Apparently, this device has been tested against continuous sanitation. So you can do 1,000 cycles of disinfection with household wipes and sanitize with confidence. That's an interesting little tidbit right there. All right, let's crack this open and check out the keyboard. You guys know that I like laptops and I play around. I mean, I try out all the different laptops. It's kind of what I do. I'm into laptops. I get most of my work done actually on laptops. And this is where I'm gonna primarily do my typing. You know, if I gotta get back to a bunch of emails and stuff like that. So one thing that strikes me right away with this keyboard, I like the font on the keys and the large scale of it. It just a little bit less eye strain looking down at the keyboard. And yes, I do pick and I pluck and I peck with the fingers. The quick brown fox. So it's no home row style. I do look at the keys. And it is chiclet style, so it's not gonna be a tremendous amount of travel. But for a laptop, it's actually pretty good. So you can spec this one with the SureView privacy display, which is kind of interesting. It will turn the entire display copper when you're looking at it off axis. Apparently it's a world's first type of implementation, but that feature hasn't been selected on this particular unit. However, on the next one we're gonna look at, the EliteBook, it showcases that tech, and you can spec this one with that particular feature as well. So moving on to the next one, this is the EliteBook, and as you can probably guess from the name, targeted, well, it's the elite level of the bunch, and it does have a little bit more in terms of port versatility. It is a little bit heavier. It's a little heavier and a little larger with a bigger display. On the outside, you'll see it has 2 USB Type-A ports, headphone jack, there's a lock port. It even has a smart card slot, which you don't see that very often. Over on the other side, you have 2 USB Type-C ports. These, once again, can be utilized for charging, or you can use the barrel style connector. And then once again, there is a full-size HDMI port as well for output. Now, this guy, oh, once again, you see, I look for that. It's the attention to detail there. It's planted. Now, sometimes you can go the whole way. Oh, on the EliteBook, you can go the whole way with one hand. So we have a slightly different layout here on the speaker units. Comparatively, you guys know I gotta pick my favorite at the end of the whole thing. So a slightly different speaker layout. We have fingerprint scanners in the same location over here. Once again, Ryzen powered. So this unit on the left, not only Ryzen Pro 7, but also Vega graphics. So again, a slightly different target user, a little bit heavier, a little more robust, but a higher spec sheet as well on the EliteBook. Here, we have some extra controls also, including the little pointer nub, which some people love and choose or prefer to use compared to the trackpad. So that is there in the center of the keyboard. And because of that, you've also got left and right mouse clicks in this location because of course you're gonna reach down if you choose to mouse this way and click like that. That's missed over here on the original ProBook model that I detailed. Now, as mentioned, this EliteBook does have that privacy screen feature, which seems pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, oh, that is so strange. That is actually quite cool. So I'm gonna go ahead one more time and we're gonna go off access ever so slightly. So you see it's a Google page over here. You hit the button, bye-bye, bye-bye, privacy. So once you've activated that SureView privacy feature, you can then use the brightness keys in order to determine how much of it you'd like to have, up to 100. We go slightly off axis and we hit the button and you can see it gets dimmed substantially. And of course, anybody who's sitting beside you, they're gonna lose your display completely. And it's this cool kind of reflective bronze thing that they would see. It's not completely blacked out, but believe it or not, if I look straight on, I can see that image. And from Kirk's camera, you see absolutely nothing. So that is a really cool feature to have built in there. Now, as far as the keyboard is concerned, it looks to be fairly similar. Ooh. I'm quick brown foxing here. The quick brown fox, the quick brown. So similar style, maybe slightly more satisfying. No, they're both good, to be honest. So I think you could go with either here. The keyboards are somewhat interchangeable and they maintain some styling. Now I do see the Bang & Olufsen logo on the EliteBook, so maybe I should play some audio to see how that sounds. Stuff going on.
Yeah. People have seen the, pictures.
We have stuff going on. So we haven't been in this studio as frequently. However, we're not going to let this lapse. We got to come back. Stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a fairly rich audio on there. And it's, believe it or not, it's kind of hit and miss on a lot of laptops. It's sometimes you get something really tinny, but there's actually a little bit of low end in there, so that's kind of nice to see. So some other cool things about the EliteBook 805 specifically, they claim up to 26 hours of battery life and a 50% fast charge in just 30 minutes. And another thing I should mention is how quiet the keyboard is. So sometimes if you have a chiclet style keyboard on a laptop, it can be kind of annoying, especially if you're working in a quiet environment or late at night. And it's true, it is quite, there's a bit of a thud, but there's definitely no click or clack. I wouldn't call it that. All right, so next up we have the ProBook X360 435. Now, in some of these categories, there are other models within the same heading. So you can go and check and custom configure or pick a pre-configuration if you choose to. But this is just giving you an idea of the variety of laptops currently available in the ProBook EliteBook lineup. So as you probably guess with the 360 moniker, this model is all about flipping it all the way around like this into, well, I mean, there's obviously many different modes at this point. You could have a tent mode, there's a tablet mode when you go all the way around and sort of hold it like this. And there's a presentation mode as well, as you've seen on many other laptops. We can bring that closer to you. This also works for just getting the screen closer to you on a tabletop. Maybe you want to be eating the breakfast cereal. I've talked about this in the past. You just watch your content. Of course, you also have a touch screen, so that's fine to do. Now on the inside, it's very similar to the other ProBook, the first model that I showcased off the top. As you might imagine, you're seeing the same keyboard, which of course is not a bad thing. Now the speaker unit, on the other hand, moves to the top side of the device, and you see you have these little padding sections here for the fold down of the display when it's closed up. One interesting touch here is this little band across the top. I presume that may have something to do with the communications antennas, I'm guessing. All right, over here on this side, you'll see a micro SD card slot, a headphone jack, an HDMI port, a USB type A port, a USB type C port, and a barrel style connector for recharge. Over on the other side, you get one more USB type A port. This one has the same fast charge functionality as the EliteBook, 50% charge in only 30 minutes. It's nice to finally see some of the quick charge stuff you talk about in smartphones trickle down into the laptop universe. You can configure this one with AMD Ryzen 4000 quad 6 or 8 core processors. So obviously the advantage with the convertible setup with the 360 is the fact that, well, when it comes to multimedia content, you have a couch mode, you have a table mode, you can just do a little bit more with it. So obviously it's gonna be a selection, a consideration for people who watch a lot of content on their laptop or convertible in this case. And also for those that appreciate pen input, there is the HP Pro Pen that you can utilize with this unit for sketching, taking notes, and so forth. So yes, pen input is also an option on the 360 model. There's some other cool little privacy features as well. If you look up here at the front-facing camera, you have this tiny little switch that just blends in. It doesn't even look like a dedicated switch, but when you slide it over, you see these zebra lines pop up on top, and that just tells you that your camera has been closed off, and now you have privacy. Privacy is a big component of all of these laptops. They consider them to be pro models or elite models, and so there's all these kinds of little privacy touches in each of them. This is the last one, the ProBook 445. This, I believe, is the biggest of the bunch. It passes 19 mil standard 810G tests, certified durability, including a drop test. So they say, yes, it's lightweight, but it's also durable. That's the package they're going for here. As we look around the device, you're gonna see a USB type A port on this side, as well as a full-size SD card slot. We flip around to the other side, and yes, this is the most diverse array of ports. It is the biggest laptop of the bunch. We have a barrel style connector for power, USB type C connector. There is a full-size Ethernet jack. I love these little ports where you have a thin laptop, but then this piece comes down like this so you can fit your Ethernet cable in there. Sometimes there's no substitute for a wired connection. We were just running speed tests on a wired connection. We just got put in the new space today, and you still can't touch it with the wireless in most cases, depending, of course, on your environment. We have a full-size HDMI port, 2 USB type A ports, and a headphone jack there as well. The styling, once again, very similar to the other models. Now, this is a bigger laptop, but it is still portable enough and lightweight. So this one apparently has a 180-degree hinge, so check this out. You can, for presentations and so on, you've seen this in the past, but it isn't on all laptops. And funny enough, I actually find myself not using that for presentations as much as just sometimes I'm working, maybe lying in bed or something, and the typical range of motion for a hinge on a laptop won't go as far as I'd like it. And so I do actually, surprisingly, find myself using this extended range in certain circumstances. Keyboard layout actually looks different. This is a slightly different font from what I would say is probably my preferred scale and font, which was on the other ProBook. So that's a slight difference here, at least the model that I happen to have in front of me. Otherwise, fairly similar fingerprint scanner. You have your trackpad in this location over here. Once again, privacy settings to close off. Maybe not as cool as the zebra privacy on the 360 model, but the important part here is you can close off the camera when you don't want to use it. So the way this lineup breaks down, your ProBooks are a little bit more entry in terms of price. They start around $700. The EliteBooks, on the other hand, sort of fit in over $1,000 up to, well, you can spec them kind of crazy if you choose to with the dedicated graphics and all the rest of it. It's up to you. One thing I like here is that no matter what your budget, the styling still puts you in the premium space. In other words, if you've got an entry-level ProBook or a super high-end EliteBook, you're still kind of appearing very similar. You're not gonna feel left out like you have some subpar product or component because they've maintained this styling from the entry all the way up. For me, it's pretty obvious. I would go for the EliteBook of the bunch. I think there's a couple of little styling options on here, little styling extras that I like, especially on those speaker grills with the little triangles that they've put in there. Also, believe it or not, sometimes I like to use these extra mouse click buttons from time to time. Also, you can spec this one. I've been looking on the website. You can spec this one with a high nit display, high brightness display for outdoor viewing. I would probably do something like that myself if I was going to do my very own spec. That said, I'm also a little bit partial to the initial one that I showed off. This is the ProBook 635 Aero G7, and what's nice about this one is just how lightweight it is. It's crazy, under a kilogram, as I mentioned before, but you've also got decent battery life baked into there too. So, I mean, it's a lot of different options for you if you're in the market for a new laptop. Hopefully this helped to illuminate some of the differences, at least within the HP lineup. You let me know down in the comments which one of these you would personally go for, and I will just close out this video making a very beautiful laptop sandwich as I open the video, because there's nothing like a stack of technology. If that doesn't get you going, I don't know what will.